We are looking at enhancing the card game War project from the WiByte Python curriculum available at www.wibyte.in. Previously, we were looking at enhancing the toss and we saw how we could get both the players to pick up one card. Then, depending on either the number of the card or the suit of the card, we decided who is the winner. Now, in this video, we'll see how we can actually combine these two to create a metric which is a combination of the suit and the number. Now, this is actually very, very interesting because right now we are doing it for toss, but as you can imagine, you can even do this for the actual war game itself. The idea, in fact, is very simple, quite interesting. In fact, I would say the idea, in fact, is very interesting. Right now, when we are deciding only by suit, we are saying, well, every card of diamond is bigger than every card of clubs. Every card of heart is bigger than every card of diamond and every card of club respectively, and so on. Effectively, we have given an implicit weightage to everything. The situation looks something like this. So, for example, we have clubs at the lowest of the pecking order, then we have diamonds, we have hearts, and then we have spades. So, effectively, we have 13, 26, 39, and of course, 0 for clubs. So, effectively, we have a weightage of 0 for clubs, 13 for diamonds, 26 for hearts, and say 39 for spades. Now, this is multiples of 13 because there are 13 cards. Now, the question is, what happens if I do not follow these weights? For example, let's say I give weightages of say 0, 10, 20, and 30. Now, notice the moment I do this, there is some kind of overlap created. As a result, now we see that ace of clubs may be seen as higher than, let's say, 2 of diamond or say 3 of diamond, but will still be, say, smaller than 4 of diamonds. Now, clearly, you can play with these, weights to create all kinds of combinations. But I would ask you to think about this very interesting question. What happens if we set all the weights to 0? So here is 0, 10, 20, 30. What happens if I made them all zeros? Do leave a comment. I'll be very happy to discuss this with you. But the question then is, how do I implement this in code? In fact, this is quite straightforward too. I'm going to create a new list called weights. This will be in perfect sync with the suits. So in fact, the weights will be in the same order as the suits. So which means we can also use a dictionary here, but list is just fine for now. Basically, for every card that we pick up, we determine the sum based on the combination of the number itself and the suit. Let's see how we do this. Basically, like I said, well, weight is a list. So I say 0, 10, 20, 30. I pick up a card. Now here I am looking at cards.index PC toss 1, which means that I'm figuring out, okay, what is the number of the card itself, plus how much weight should I apply to this. So that I do by figuring out which suit it is. So I say suits.index PC toss 0. And then I index into this list weight. So remember, if my suit was clubs, then I'm going to read 0 as the weight. If my suit was, let's say, spade, I'm going to read 30 as a weight. So I take a combination of these two. If my player is, let's say, bigger based on these two metrics, then I say player is the winner, else I say computer is the winner. Let's see this working. This is in fact quite interesting. We have now combined the suit and the number in a very interesting manner. So I get back to my code. First thing first here, remember there was a list called suits. I'm going to create another list here called say weights, GHTS, let's say, and I'm just going to say, well, let it be 0, 10, 20, 30. Now, there's absolutely no compulsion that we must have exactly these numbers. In fact, you can tweak with these to create more combinations, let's say. But I'll just stick with 0, 10, 20, 30. And now I come in here and I say, look, I'm not looking only at the suit or only at the number. In fact, I'm looking at a combination. So I just say, well, if cards, let's say, cards dot say index PC toss say 1 plus weights, so WIGHTS weights. Now this is the list that I'm indexing in, and the index that will be found by finding out what is a suit for this card. So I say suits dot say index PC toss 0. Now notice when I look at the suit, I say PC toss 0. When I look at the number, they look at the value of the number, I say PC toss 1. And as before, they are indexing into different lists. So for the color, I look at suits. For the value, I look at cards. Now, if this is, let's say, greater than the similar or corresponding metric, say from the computer card. So I just pick this up. I say Control V. And here, instead of, cards, the PC toss, I say CC toss 1 and say CC toss 0. So if this is the case, well, then indeed the player has won. On the other hand, I'm going to say comment this out and I say, well, look, if, so be very careful with the indentation here. I say, well, if let's say the reverse happens, so if the reverse happens, which means that player is, smaller than the computer, then I say, look, in this case, computer has won. And this is really all we need. Now, when I run this code, I notice that I get HQ and D9. So player has picked up Queen of Heart and computer has picked up, let's say, 9 of diamonds. Let's just kind of run through this. So I say, well, PC toss, indeed, that is equal to HQ. We have declared player to be the winner. We will find out what this metric is. So I say cards dot index, say, PC toss, let's say PC toss, say 1. Now that is given by 10 because here notice I have picked up Q. So my Q is the queen, which is at index number 10 very clearly. Now to this I go and add, let's say, weights, say suits dot index, say PC toss, and I must look at now 0. So if I were to do this, I have to be just a little bit careful with all the brackets and stuff. This becomes 30 because remember the suits for this is heart and my weight for heart is actually 20 because it's 0, 10, 20, 30. So my total value of this card is 30. On the other hand, if I were to look at the same thing for the computer, it is, so I say CC toss 1 plus weight CC toss 0. That number is 17. And how is that? Because remember my number is 9, which means that we are looking at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the value, and the weight for diamond, is 10. So that's why the value is 17. I hope this is clear. Clearly, this gives me a interesting, let's say, toss. Now, let's say I had PC toss equals to say C, let's say ace of clubs, and my CC toss was equal to, let's say, 2 of diamonds. Now notice here I have a club which is in a way lower suit compared to diamond, but because of the value of the card, when I look at, let's say, cards.index for PC toss, the score for PC would be 12. This is because my A is on 12 and the value for C club is 0. But if I were to do the same thing on the let's say CC toss, so if I look at the same metric for the computer card, it becomes 10. So in this case, if these were the 2 cards picked up, my player will be seen as winning the toss, even though it picked up a clubs card. Notice how we are combining the suit and the number to create a combined metric. Like I said, this can in fact be used in the game itself as well, because previously, remember, we are looking only at the number. In fact, we can look at this metric to make it more interesting. So this idea can really be enhanced, can really be applied in the gameplay itself. I hope you found this interesting. In general, if you think this way of learning works for you, where we build activities, we apply concepts, we think about ideas, look at our website www.wibyte.in because we have many such activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.